I don't know. It's so toxicity is such a weird thing because there's like people that like defend it really hard. This like stuff, people are like, no, being toxic is good. It's fucking it's sports. You're supposed to be toxic. I don't know, dude. Hello. Pretty sure the meme OCE competitive rulings can be 50% attributed to Surenfire. That's rough, man. You know, it's weird. The whole flaming thing is so weird because like a lot of people compare it to like traditional sports and talking shit, but like nobody goes as hard as people that are like that are online, you know? Because when you're like talking shit person to person, you're like, oh, fucking, you suck, you're terrible, whatever. Like, it's one thing, but when you're just like, you're typing to people over the internet and you're like, your life is worthless. Why are you even ever trying? You should really give up right now. And you like, you've never seen the guy before and he's just like, yeah, that's it. This is over. That's it. You're worthless. You're worthless. Like, that's, it's like, holy fuck, man. Like, can you like relax? I don't even know you. I'm just like, all right, yeah, okay. Any tips ganking early game as Evelyn? Get really good at gathering information from lanes. Do the LS stuff. Maybe not as rapidly as he does it, but just make sure to keep constant watch on lanes. And as soon as you see somebody far out enough so that you could get more or less behind them or next to them and then W and charm them, you could do it. Make sure that your laner has enough enough either CC or damage to follow up, and that's about it. It's actually a grumpy mood right now, but you're making me feel happier. How come you're grumpy? Oh my, I don't know if I've ever seen Ella in a grumpy mood. Who made you grumpy? We'll destroy him, dude. Tell him to 1v1 us in League of Legends. No problem, man. The biggest thing about ganking as Evelyn early is you have to be able to get your W off on them, and you have to have enough damage to actually kill them. So like top lane, you can't really gank top lane because Tom Kench is really, really tough to kill, so that's going to be a waste of time. The biggest thing is like you want to only go for ganks that are like a really high chance of being a success, because you're going for ganks delays your early game options. Sorry, delays your mid game spike, so like you won't hit level 6s early and stuff. So like if I look at top lane right now, you know, he's in the correct position where I could get my W off, but he is not low enough HP as to where I can hit actually kill him if I do get my W off. But mid lane on the other hand, she's not in the quite correct position for me to get the W off, but she is in the correct position for me to potentially kill her with flash or something like that, because she's too far up. Well, sorry, she's too low HP. So that's kind of the thing you're looking for. If I hit my Q there, she might have died. That's what we're trying to see. Huh? You got her, dude. Get her good. We saw the enemy Shyvana over on bot side, so kind of know that she's not going to be here. We have priority in mid lane. We do not have priority in top lane, which is a little bit scary, but whatever. So again, lots of enemy minions. Enemy is full HP. And no way that we can realistically kill him with the Nasus, because you know that Nasus early on doesn't have the most damage. He has an okay amount of damage, but not that much. And this guy is tanky and can actually put up a fight, so we don't want to challenge him. We just let him be. We don't want to waste time on him. I haven't really been looking bot lane because I just am not in a position to gank bot lane early. There's just some things that are unrealistic. And ganking bot lane early in this game is fairly unrealistic because we know that our camps are most likely in jeopardy over on bot side because there's a Shyvana and River very early on, so chances are she will invade. You can look at her CS, it's 21. So she missed one camp, probably our Krugs if I had to guess. Yeah, this is gone. So now that we're around bot side, we can actually consider going towards bot lane, seeing as they're really low. They're not in position for us to get a charm off, but they are low enough HP so that we can potentially kill them.
Every kill is just a lever he didn't look at.
Ah, shit. Oh, fuck. Alright, I was Whoa, what am I doing? I agree, question mark. I agree. I meant to go around this way. Good job, Oleg. There are several things I could have done there. That was the worst. That was by far the worst.
Guess who's back for more?
That's not an ouch. That's a LMAO. Lamau. I just fucking ran through the tower.
This craving will soon. Go on, touch me.
Hey, we still got some kills over in the bot lane. Good job. Good job, team. Run it down. Well, this is more of a run it up. Because, you know, running it down is this direction, so I think we ran it up. Are you sure you're really bronze and not iron? No, dude. I'm iron. No. Oh my god! She could have taken that like crazy. That was 100% hers. What do you get? Where are you getting? Okay. Wow, that's pretty bad. You know what? Here's the thing, man. If you guys want to see quality gameplay, you gotta let me shut the fuck up and just play, okay? If I'm trying to explain what I'm doing and at the same time play well, it's just not gonna work. So, it's one or the other. Like, you guys can flame me if you want, but realistically speaking, nice. Oh, he got hit by Comet. That's sad. Like, realistically speaking, it's hard to perform at maximum output. Yeah, and that's the nice thing about this account. I can make some mistakes while also, like, give, like, in-game commentary and whatnot. And it'll be okay. Like, I still have a good chance to win. No flame, only light toasting. Just keep talking and into. You hurt me. You wound me. You wound me. Alright, now that we're level 6, I think it's pretty obvious from watching the game and seeing what has happened already that bot lane is the best lane to gank. They're constantly fighting and they're comfortable with being low HP. Also, Infernal Dragon is very important, so if we can get bot lane, we can also probably get Infernal Dragon. Oh, that's unlucky that guy died.
I'm not done yet.
Can we get some support here?
Oh well. Time to find a new toy.
Okay. So I actually meant to put my W on their ADC to start with, so that was like a mistake by me. But it kind of worked out the way that we wanted to. So because of previous knowledge, we know that bot lane was comfortable getting low and fighting and pushing up and stuff, so we went to go kill them in order to secure the dragon afterwards. That's how it worked out. Pretty good so far. Alright, if I could get this scuttle crab, that would be really nice, but we'll see about that in a second. You still want to constantly watch your lanes too, to see what's going on. Something that I will say is earlier,
My two favorite words.
I might be able to actually intercept her here. We will see. Just wait, just wait, just wait. No.
A little bit of heaven before the hell.
Ah, shit.
Someday they'll love
Ah, fuck. I gotta keep running up because there's a scary dragon behind me. Ah, no. Trifecta. Nowhere I can run anymore. Unfortunate. This thing and this thing. So, something that I could say about earlier, when I hit level 6, I had the choice between... Oh, that's unlucky. I had the choice between going to kill Shyvana and going to kill bot lane. Killing bot lane is more important. Whenever you have the choice between killing the jungler and killing the laners, you always want to pick killing the laners because they're way more important than the enemy jungler. The enemy jungler is just going to go back to farming, come back up, she'll be fine. But the enemy laners, if they fall too far behind, they might not be able to go back to farming because maybe their laners will be too good. Your allies will be too good. So they can't really do anything. Okay. Now that we got our free kill, we can take a look here. So Rift Herald's coming back up. Rift Herald is kind of overpowered right now in my opinion. So I think I'm gonna make a priority of that. Also, it's really good to clear the jungle and get our farm, seeing as it's been up for a while and we don't want to fall behind in that. The enemy jungler is roughly the same as we are right now, but whatever. So I think a good choice right now is to do some kind of jungle camps and then think about heralds. So the enemy jungler is over in a river. I think it's smart right now to try and kill their mid laner and then afterwards try and go see what the enemy jungler is doing. Okay. We slowed her down.
The height of their happiness.
We can 3v2 this. Alright, let's do this. Oops, I missed my shit. That's okay. Alright, perfect. So we got the kills that we wanted to get, and now we get Rift Herald, which will give us a lot of gold from towers. Evelyn is all about gold, much more than other champions. Other champions can do things off of levels and timings and whatnot. Evelyn really needs that gold advantage to be able to dunk people. So it's really important to get this kind of stuff. I think the best lane to actually kill is going to be mid lane. We have a little bit of time, so we can finish off our jungle and then recall and buy before we actually go in and try to take out their mid lane. The items generally, there's rare times when the items depend on matchups, but it's mostly situational, mainly how much gold you have and how much MR the enemy team has. So like right now I would like to buy an easy large rod, but I don't have enough money for it, so I just buy an Aether Wisp because Aether Wisp is just a really versatile item that can be built into a lot of different stuff.
Someday they'll love me for who I really am.
Just let me take care of this one. Alright, good enough. They are missing. But I have my shit back up. Whew, he actually died to that. Unlucky. Is there a Kench? There must be a Kench nearby. There is a Kench nearby. Alright, what do we want to do? I really want her to not die. Shut up. I can kill this guy. Oh my god, I stepped on that thing. Oh my god, how did I miss? Okay. She flashed, but I didn't really have anything to kill her, so.
That's it, Mom. Let your guard down.
Okay. I might have actually had more trouble if she didn't ult there, because she put herself in range of my Q. Oh my god. Wait. She's dead, right? Wait, who the fuck? Oh, right, she's building a gunblade. I'm like, who the fuck just used Cutlass? That's for AD players. Oh, that's funny. I'm dead, aren't I? Yeah, I am. Fuck me. I shouldn't have used my hate spike, honestly. I should have known that I was going to hit a minion there. But that's okay. So. We're going for Spellbinder. There's not much else that we can go for here. Awkward buy, but whatever. Eve is a gold digger, Sunset 2018. Yeah. Alright, I gotta keep on killing this bot lane. This bot lane is constantly fighting. They're always low HP. I just need to fucking camp the shit out of them. Okay. Shyvana. What are you doing here, Shyvana? What does he have for a keystone? Fuck. My hate spikes didn't want to go to that person. Yeah. See, this is kind of what I'm talking about. They're okay with staying with really, really low HP. To the point where it just makes it hilariously easy to kill them. Okay. My Qs are not on point today. Fuck, I'm dead. I did as much damage as I could to her. I should have been more careful because I was low HP. Going back into my jungle to farm. That's generally when people try to kill you. Alright, so when at 850 gold, the first buy, it's more flexible to buy Aether Wisp because you get to choose between Lichbane and Spellbinder. But the second buy, it's more flexible to get a Blasting Wand because you get to choose between Banshee's Veil, Lichbane, and Void Staff for your next item without having to actually commit to any of those. And the reason you don't really want a Banshee's Veil as a second item, so I don't like getting the Aether or the Blasting Wand for 850 on first back after Sork Shoes, because like it basically locks you into a Lichbane most of the time. But this way you actually have more options now. Looks like they're grouping mid lane. I don't have all my cooldowns, so grouping mid lane is kind of questionable here. I'm just gonna continue farming. Oh, they actually got the tower. They face tank that tower though. Whatever, I guess. Tower's the tower. Oops, I messed that up. Okay, let's see. Hey, I want to ask, what build would you go versus a tanky team and you are behind? I don't think that tanky team really is a consideration because they still should have carries and you still should focus their carries. Oh, she didn't turn around. Really surprised by that. Alright, but when you're behind, it's basically the same stuff, but when you're behind, your options are Spellbinder or Protobelt or Lichbane. I'm not sure which one I prefer the most out of all of those, honestly, but I think if you're like really behind, I think Protobelt is the best. I want to re-stealth before I really do anything much else here. I want to re-stealth again, so I have my HP back, and then we'll just put a ward here while we rotate back around to behind the tower. We'll ping assist me and try to kill this girl. Okay. Alright, and we were able to do this kind of stuff because of our passive and because a lot of people are dead and because we know that people generally want to try to defend their turrets even if they don't really have anybody to defend with. Oh, he moved. Alright, okay. Okay.
Once again, a woman's left unsatisfied.
Did not expect her to flash into me.
I only do.
That was surprising. She's on dragon. Oh, never mind, she's here.
That's it, love. Let your guard down.
Okay.
I think we should break up. Shine bright. You need to relax.
Okay. So, oh shit. Yeah, okay. Once you guys get good enough, you'll be able to do this kind of like tower wraith kind of play style where you're constantly behind their towers and just dipping in and out and killing people that are exposed. It's really risky and you really gotta have like a good feel for your champion. As you see, like I am able to maneuver around the Lux and everything. She uses her Q, but I predict it and just walk around it before she even throws it out while also aiming my charm at her. We're gonna go get death cap before we continue fighting and whatnot. And you can fight for a long time and whatnot. Like, you guys saw that I had enough damage to actually kill them in all those situations. So it's okay to keep fighting despite having a lot of gold. But now that I'm really close to death cap, I'm just going to pick up the death cap and probably go for team fights or something. Except they seem to be pretty demoralized because they're losing to our plebs here. Alright, because we have enough gold to buy a death cap, we're gonna pause the building of those other items that I spoke about earlier, and we're just gonna go for the death cap. How are you dying? Are you being invaded? Oh, somebody was asking, hello, new to your channel and stuff, but I'm also aspiring Eve May. I've been trying to pick her up and struggling. I'm main mid, but I want to play jungle this season. I really like Eve. I'm not bad. I really like Eve. I'm not bad at her. That shouldn't be your mindset. Your mindset should be, I am bad at her. How can I improve? If your mindset is, I'm not bad at her, it's going to be harder to improve. You shouldn't do that. Any tips on how I can improve? I tend to die a lot early. I'm assuming probably stemming from the same thing of having a lot of confidence in your play, but not actually knowing exactly what you're doing. You're probably just fighting too much in the early game. Nah, fuck. Wait, you're trying to fight me, dude? No.
Let's sneak around. Don't go anywhere. The night is my vision.
Okay.
Let Evelyn take over.
I am. Oh, I see. Okay, you were. All right. Good. I like the fact that you're starting from the correct mindset. Yes, XS Evelyn, we are smurfing mainly to avoid our main accounts where everybody hates us. So all right. Hold on. We'll let me catch up on the chat and then we'll go through the rest of that with you. How are you dying? I hope it's been a rough start. I've been playing so far like 25 games and only 2 good games out of them. I really struggle with ganking early pre-6. That's okay, ganking pre-6 is hard. I died trying to gank in a few times from invades. Harmless, did you hear my spiel at the beginning of this game as to how you're supposed to go about fighting in the early game? You can, since you're learning Evelyn, you can just ignore fighting pre-6 and just farm to 6 and then go fight. That's okay. It's probably gonna be like incorrect. You'll probably be fucking up and all that, but and the invading stuff, just ward early on in the river and yeah, play off of. You have to try to figure out where the enemy jungler is. was funny. GG. It's a bug. Alright. Okay. Can you solo Baron full build including Gunblade? I'm not sure actually. You can solo Dragon. I'm not sure about Baron because Baron reduces your damage dealt. That's a that's a kind of question that you need a practice tool for or something, because I don't fucking know, dude. You think I ever tried to solo Baron on Evelyn at 6 items? You think I'm worried about soloing Baron? I'm worried about fucking killing people and shooting them, fucking popping caps in them, you know what I'm saying? Alright, trust me, I'm not confident at all. Wish I didn't have that typo in there. Don't worry about it. I've caught up. When Eve got nerfed, I started almost never ganking before I was 6. You need a decent team to survive until then, though. Have your practice. Well, no, that's not true. You should still gank pre-6. What win ratio are we at the moment, Sunset? Yeah, we're 22-3, although our losses were pretty sad, but it happens. That's how League of Legends is. Plug your stream? No. I specifically want to keep this account hidden. I don't want for people to know it, that it's me, because I'm getting trolled like a lot right now on my main account. I'm getting trolled like a lot. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna keep the name change. Once people figure out this is me, I'm gonna name change to somebody else and keep playing. I want to not get harassed while playing League of Legends, so I'm not gonna be telling people that this is my account. Good, Tiger. Yeah, ganking pre-6 can win you games, but you have to do it correctly or else it'll lose you games. Harmless, I'll go into early game strategy. Let me just I'll load up my VOD from last game and I'll kind of run through what I did to make the early game correct here. So normally, I didn't do this game because I was distracted, but what you want to do is you want to decide whether starting top side or bottom side is better. Because, and there's two things to consider here. One is if you have ganking in mind or farming in mind. And whether you have ganking or farming in mind generally revolves around the jungle matchup. So against Shyvana's not that crazy of an early game champion, so we can have ganking in mind, but we gotta also make sure that she doesn't counter jungle us too heavily. So we want to start probably in this situation on the side where we don't want to gank, because we want to use our presence to both stop Shyvana from invading us and to gank or whatever. In any case, this is not a good gank, and these guys are okay ganks or whatever. So we wanna play bottom side. I think I ended up invading them. Oh yeah, I remember what happened. So in this game in particular, what happened is one of our team members, I think, died. Is that what happened this game? Or no, wait, that was the previous game, wasn't it? Wait, so what did I do here? Ah, they saw me. Alright, so this game, alright, so here's what I did this game. I started top side because I wanted to gank bottom side, but I ended up changing my plan up from going to the bottom side of my jungle to invading the enemy jungle. This isn't really what I wanted to do this game, but the reason I did it is because if you look at my vision, for a split second I saw Shyvana on the map over in bottom side, and basically what I was acknowledging is that if I go for this scuttle crab here and then try to go over to my bottom side like I would normally want to right now, there's a chance that Shyvana goes into my bottom side jungle and fucks up my camps and zones me off of my camps, which should be really bad. So this comes to like one of the bigger things about Evelyn in the early game. You want to make sure that you can continue farming camps through your route, which means that you have to adjust your plans depending on what information you find out about the enemy jungler. So I found out that the enemy jungler was on the bottom side. I recognized that there is a possibility that she will invade me here, and she did. And because of that, I went for her jungle instead. Now, in the meantime, while I was here, I was also watching lanes, right? So that's what you're supposed to be doing. While I was doing blue buff, I'm watching lanes. I'm looking top lane. Top lane is ungankable. The reason that top lane is ungankable is because the enemy top laner is far out enough for us to land a charm if we go behind him. He doesn't have enough time to run to his tower, but he has so much HP and he's such a tanky champion that level 2 Nasus and level 2 Evelyn just can't kill him physically. He would just maybe burn his flash and then you won't actually get anything out of it. But the mid lane is another thing entirely. Now, right, this positioning, this is actually not enough time to get our W off because she can run and then maybe flash or something. The W won't be enough, but this is enough time to, or sorry, she is low enough where our full combo will probably kill her. So we're gonna actually try to gank her here. We're waiting for the minions to go by so she has less vision of us. And the idea here is that if we land this Q, we can just all in her. If this Q lands on her and she gets charmed, we all in her and get first blood and probably even live here. So we will attempt this early game gank. As soon as we see that it doesn't work out, we go straight back to farming because we don't want to waste too much time. And we're still, the fact that these rates are up after all that time and that gank and stuff, we pretty much know that we're getting invaded at this point in time. So we go back and we farm up the jungle. We put down the vision ward if we only have a pink because we want to see if she stops taking our jungle early and comes around. And we don't go top lane because of the same reasoning. He is overextended, but he's way too healthy. We can't kill him. There's no way. He can walk away from us and potentially even maybe 2v1 us and go 1-for-1 or something. We don't want to fight that. So we fall back to here. Oops, I went backspace instead of forward. And we farm up the rest of the jungle. I probably should have recalled maybe. Oh yeah, well, we're not gonna talk. We're gonna look at this, but we're not gonna talk about this. We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. That was we're just not gonna talk about that. Alright. So now we're focusing on farming. We are checking out the scuttle crab because it's back up again. And we're just looking. So at level 5 is when it's like it becomes a really hard decision whether you want to gank or not. Generally speaking, I wouldn't gank people that are level 6 when you're not level 6 because they have their power spikes and they can just dunk you usually. So level 5, I really do like to just fall back and farm up until I'm 6. Alright, and here I hit 6, and now you have a quick decision. As soon as you hit level 6, you have to make something happen with it. One of two things. You could recall to buy, but if you think you have a kill somewhere immediately, you don't recall and you just go kill somebody. So we have two options to us here. If you look, we see that the enemy jungler is pretty low at the top side, and then we see that the bot lane is a little bit overextended. And as we get here, we go look at top lane, nothing's going on top lane. We go look at the mid laner, we don't know where the enemy mid laner is. Our mid laner is here, enemy jungler is low. And we look at bot lane, we see that bot lane is overextended. So it's always better to gank laners. Bot lane is the most juicy gank, so if you can gank bot lane, get 2 kills, you definitely want to go for it. I meant to W the 80 carry here actually, so I kind of fucked up in my pick or whatever. That's okay, we end up dealing enough damage to kill her, and eventually I think we even run this guy down and kill him too. Yeah. And that's the early game Evelyn for you. To summarize, that was a commentary on what I did this game. To summarize for you like what you should be doing in general, here's the things. As you farm, you have to pick the correct route, and the objectives for picking the correct route is you don't want to be contested for your camps by the enemy jungler. So the most important thing is that you don't run into the enemy jungler. Have that at the core of your decision. The next thing is you want to actually be able to help the laners that you can help. So we knew from the start that we can't help Nasus, so we don't want to play topside. But we were forced to play topside because of the positioning of the Shyvana. In order to get better pathing in the early game, it's really good to ward this bush and this bush. If you can manage to get your team to do it or do it yourself, it's really, really good. Try not to ward it before 1 minute, because if you ward it before 1 minute, it just doesn't last long enough to give you any information. So yeah, try to help your teammates. Try to predict which teammates you can help, and try to make sure that you don't get invaded and get early game vision. As far as ganking goes, while you are farming, it's your job to constantly watch the map, and even better, to use the vision keys to jump to your top lane, jump to your mid lane, and take a look at what is actually going on there. How are the minions pushing? Who's winning? What are the HPs like, and so forth. And through that, you're kind of just remembering how people are playing. So like this game, I was remembering that bot lane was constantly low HP. They were constantly fighting. They're constantly pushed up. That's how they play the game. You have to remember that. Mid lane was pretty like scrappy too. They'd be low. They'd get low every time. Top lane was always full HP. They were just farming. And you also look at the positioning and stuff. So as soon as you see a lane in which you are close enough, so like if you're playing topside jungle, you can consider ganking top and mid, and like very rarely you can consider bot lane too if they're like really asking to die. But you're considering those, and as soon as you see a situation where you're like, all right, he's our extended, he's low enough, you just go and try to help them. The only other thing is you have to think about the enemy jungler. You have to think about the enemy jungler. So that's like, what I just gave you is kind of like the hierarchy of what you're supposed to be doing in the jungle by yourself. And I kind of talked about like not running into the enemy jungler, but it's more complicated when you're thinking about ganks and not running into the enemy jungler, because farming is easier not to run into the enemy jungler. You just see where they are in river, and you generally play it so that they're really far away. Like, there's no way that I can somehow get killed by going to her wraiths when my mid lane is pushed up. We have priority, and she's probably around the bottom side, so there's just no way. But if I'm ganking mid lane, all of a sudden I'm showing where I am, and the enemy can be nearby and counter gank me. So you have to really think like, can I die on this gank? There's a lot of stuff there, but that's pretty much everything. So there's a lot there, but it's pretty much everything. And if you can get used to that and really do it, your early game will be really good. Yeah. Right, yeah. So see, that Tahm Kench was not gankable. And you just have to, deciding whether or not somebody is gankable depends on several things. It's tankiness, mobility, current HP, and current positioning. So it's two things, honestly. It's tankiness and current HP, and then positioning, mobility and current position, right? So it's how low are they already, and can I realistically get them to 0? And how far up are they already? And will they make it to safety before I am able to bring them down to 0? That's what you're trying to think about the entire time. And Tahm Kench in that situation, although he is really fucking pushed up, he's got 2 HP bars, man, and he's got a lot of minions and stuff. It's just not worth trying to go for that, because if you play it out in your head, what's going to happen? You're going to charm him, you're going to do some damage to him, Nasus is going to slow him and maybe smack him once, and then he'll just flash away, and what are you going to do? He's just going to walk away from you. right? You don't have enough CC to burst them from 100 to 0, and once your CC is done, that's it. He walks to tower. So there's no chance in hell that you can kill him. That's why you don't go for that gank.